Alright, folks, let us talk about an unfair advantage. We look at Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. We see the billions, the legendary status, the cherry coke, and we think his edge must be some secret, complex financial formula, a algorithm locked in a vault in Nebraska, some magic ratio he has never told anyone about. And that is where we are dead wrong. His edge is not a secret. It is not a what. It is a how. It is a how he thinks. And the terrifying, liberating truth is that he has told us exactly what it is. For decades, in his letters, in his meetings. The problem is not that he is hiding it. The problem is that it is too simple for most of us to accept. It is not a high-frequency trading terminal. It is a specific, unshakable mindset. And today, we are going to break down the 3 core pillars of that mindset that give him his unfair edge. Pillar 1. The compounding machine, but not the one you think. First, let us talk about compounding. You have heard it. The 8th wonder of the world. But you think of it as numbers on a screen. Buffett thinks of it as a mental habit. See, we live in a world of instant gratification. We check our portfolios 10 times a day. We want the quick flip, the 50% pop in 6 months. That dopamine hit. Buffett says that he has fundamentally rewired his brain to not care about the next 6 months. He cares about the next 6 decades. His edge is patience as a superpower. He is not just buying a stock, he is buying a piece of a business. And when you buy a business, you understand. See's Candies, a Coca-Cola. Do not ask, what will this be worth tomorrow? You ask, what will the cumulative profits of this enterprise be in 20 years? He positions himself, and then he waits. He sits. He lets the business do the work. The earnings grow, they get reinvested, and that snowball gets bigger and bigger, rolling downhill. Our edges eroded by our transaction fees, our taxes on short-term gains, and most of all, our own impulsive decisions. Buffett's edge is amplified by time itself. He turned time from an enemy into his most loyal business partner. While we are all chasing the next shiny object, he is just sitting there, getting richer, not by doing anything, but by strategically, intentionally, not doing. Pillar 2. The circle of competence, the power of I do not know. The second pillar of his edge is even more counterintuitive. It is his radical honesty about what he does not know. We feel this pressure to have an opinion on everything. AI, crypto, biotech, self-driving cars. We feel like we need to be in every hot sector. Buffett's edge is his ruthless, almost arrogant, definition of his circle of competence. Imagine a small circle on the ground. Inside that circle are things like insurance, railroads, soft drinks, banks, simple, predictable businesses. Everything else in the world, all the complex, fast-changing, technologically dazzling stuff, is outside the circle. And here is the key: Buffett does not try to expand the circle. He just stays firmly, stubbornly, inside it. His edge comes from his ability to say, I do not understand that, so I am not investing in it. No matter how much money other people are making. He missed the entire dot-com boom. People called him a dinosaur, a relic. He did not care, because he knew he could not reliably value those companies. And when the dot-com bust happened, he was unscathed, his capital intact, ready to pounce on what he did understand. Our problem is that our FOMO, our fear of missing out, so strong, it constantly pushes us outside our own circle. We invest in a tech stock because it is the buzz, not because we have any deep understanding of its moat or its financials. But Buffett's edge is the discipline to stay in his lane. He knows that in the game of investing, it is not about hitting the most home runs, it is about avoiding the strikeouts. And the easiest way to avoid a strikeout is to never swing at a pitch you cannot see. Pillar 3. The psychology of the herd. Be greedy when others are fearful. This is the big one. The one that seems the easiest to understand, but is the hardest to execute. Buffett's third edge is his mastery over his own emotions and his exploitation of everyone else's. The market is not a cold, logical computer. It is a manic-depressive voting machine in the short term. And it is driven by 2 primal emotions: fear and greed. We are hardwired to be part of the herd. When the market is euphoric and everyone is getting rich, our greed kicks in and we want to buy, B, Y at the top. When the market is crashing and the news is all doom, our fear screams at us to sell, essays ill at the bottom. It feels safe to be with the crowd. Buffett's edge is that he has systematically trained himself to do the exact opposite. His most famous line, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." This is not just a cute quote. It is his entire operating system. In 2008, when the financial world was ending, when Lehman Brothers collapsed and banks were failing, the herd was stampeding in pure, unadulterated terror. What was Buffett doing? He was writing massive checks to Goldman Sachs, to General Electric. He was buying while blood was literally running in the streets. He was not doing this because he had a crystal ball. He was doing it because he had a framework. He had the emotional fortitude to see the panic not as a threat, but as a once-in-a-generation sale on wonderful businesses. His edge was his liquidity, and his courage at the exact moment when everyone else was paralyzed. We try to time the market. He does not. He just makes sure that when the market inevitably has a panic attack, he is the one with the cash and the calm nerves to be the buyer of last resort. The synthesis. The unfair advantage is you. So, let us bring it all together. What is Warren Buffett's edge? It is not a spreadsheet. It is a mindset, a three-part mental model. The time horizon of a redwood tree. Playing the infinite game, using patience and compounding as his engine. The discipline versus MRI. Staying rigorously within his circle of competence, turning I do not know into his greatest strength. The emotional detachment of a surgeon. Exploiting market manias and panics by being a contrarian with deep pockets and even deeper conviction. The brutal, beautiful truth is this. None of this is a secret. All the information is available. The edge is not in the information. The edge is in the implementation. The real battleground of investing is not the New York Stock Exchange. It is the 6 inches between your ears. Warren Buffett's unfair advantage is that he won the inner game. He mastered himself long before he mastered the market. So the next time you are about to make an investment, ask yourself not what would Warren Buffett do, but am I thinking like Warren Buffett thinks? Am I being patient? Am I staying in my circle? Am I being greedy out of fear or out of rationality?